Coming up on News Live at 6, how student organizations are coming together and reflecting on the history of October 7th.
Plus, how a local restaurant's weekly fundraiser helps bring awareness to Syracuse organizations.
And the outgoing Syracuse City School District Superintendent could still have a large role in the district. That and more when News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Today is October 7th, marking 2 years since the attacks by Hamas that killed more than 1,200 people and started the Gaza war. Welcome into News Live at 6 this Tuesday. I'm Isabella Galan.
And I'm Jackson Breslin. The Palestinian Ministry of Health says that at least 67,000 people have died since the war began.
On campus tonight, Hillel and the Syracuse community are coming together for a peace vigil. And that's where our Caitlin Campbell is now. Caitlin, what are the emotions and the feelings from those that are in attendance tonight?
Hey, Bill and Jackson, that's right. We're here at Hendricks Chapel where people are just starting to come out here. They just finished their Interfaith Peace Vigil held by Rabbi Natan Levy in light of October 7th. People today gathered and supported one another, reflecting on the lives lost. Now, Rabbi Natan Levy says that having a space like this is essential to have these conversations.
We want there to be a peaceful change, and now the theme that we're creating here is how do we go from that darkness to light? How do we go from that sorrow to comfort? And how do we go from a sense of mourning to a real sense of being together?
That's right. Syracuse students say it's a hard but necessary conversation to talk about historical moments like these, so they turn to places like Hillel to have them.
Bring these topics into conversation. I feel like a lot of times people are scared to talk about it or ask about it, and I've spoken to the Chabad rabbi and he always says like Chabad is welcome to everyone 24/7, not just Jewish students.
Now, this vigil is part of a bigger week with Interfaith Peace Week being held by different religious groups and spiritual organizations. People can check out a list of more websites at chapel.syracuse.edu. I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Caitlin. Now, Syracuse restaurants are very popular, but Harvey's Garden, which is a really big one, does serve more than just food. Our Sophia DeStasso tells us about one weekly fundraising event they hold.
The first thing you may see when driving on East Washington Street is a skate and dog park. But if you turn around, you will find a local hotspot.
I opened the dog park. I raised the funds for the dog park next door, so I was familiar with this warehouse, which was vacant, and just kind of wanted someone to build it and couldn't find anyone to do it, so I ended up doing it myself.
Syracuse native Michael Green is the manager of Harvey's Garden. Green says when opening, his mission was to get to know other Syracuse organizations.
We're looking to try to engage with the community. We really feel like a strong Central New York is key for us as a business long term.
One way Harvey's is doing that is by giving back through Charity Mondays.
Every Monday, we let the charity choose a 3-hour time slot, and then we donate 30% of our drink sales during that time. So for us to be able to partner with someone new each week just helps kind of build us our relationships in the community.
Harvey's also partners with another company for Charity Mondays to give back to the community. This isn't just any company though, it's actually a hot dog food truck.
When we first started, we were having a hard time getting jobs.
Owner of Jilly Dogs, John Bertolero, says Harvey's Garden
It was a perfect home for us. They were super nice. They let us come over whenever they had an opening, and it basically got our foot in the food trucking door.
Every Monday, Jilly Dogs gives back 20% of the sales they make, alongside the 30% Harvey's Garden makes.
So each week it's something new, and it's fun for us to kind of meet the different organizations.
Every week is a new chance to give back and learn about the Syracuse community.
It's an awesome opportunity. Biggest thing for us is you have to get back to the community, and it's all part of it.
From skateboarders to food trucks, Harvey's Garden is bringing people together, one Charity Monday at a time. Reporting for CitrusTV News, I'm Sophia DeStasso.
The Syracuse City School District Superintendent Anthony Davis is leaving his position at the end of the month. However, his involvement with the district may not end there. The school district is looking to hire a consulting company owned by Davis to provide support and consulting to district employees. A Board of Education meeting late last month shows Davis's company would be paid up to $125,000 for its work. Davis will finish his term at the end of the month.
Cumulus Media hosted a local job fair in Cicero earlier today. Job seekers met with employers from around central New York. Immediate openings were available in fields like healthcare, construction, and media, with positions from entry-level to experienced roles. Opportunities range from remote to in-person work. Now, this event is the postponed date from one earlier in September.
Carrier Circle says goodbye to the original Joey's Italian restaurant building. Before the demolition crews began tearing down the restaurant, workers pulled out the iron gates that thousands of customers passed through. Once the debris is cleared, the land will be paved to create new parking for the new Joey's building that recently just opened. The new space has been full every night since the opening day for the restaurant.
Federal health officials are warning people to not eat certain HelloFresh subscription meal kits. The reason? Spinach that may be contaminated with listeria. The products include 10-ounce containers of cheesy pulled pork pepper pasta and unstuffed peppers with ground turkey. Listeria infections can cause serious illness in older adults, people with weak immune systems, and those who are pregnant. Happening now at the Newhouse School, the team behind CNN's climate reporting is speaking to future journalists about storytelling.
Our Luke Bradel spoke to their chief climate correspondent, Bill Weir, and joins us now from live outside of the Herg Auditorium. Luke?
Yeah, thanks, Bella and Jackson. That's right. I spoke to Bill Weir a little bit earlier today, and he was really excited to be here at Syracuse. He actually applied to Syracuse University when he was trying to be a journalist and didn't get in because his grades weren't good enough. Thankfully, he's now boosted those grades out in the field, working as CNN's chief climate correspondent. And I spoke to him a little bit about what's happening here on the Hill, including the recent news out of our sister school, SUNY ESF, that they are receiving cuts to their funding. Obviously, much of his reporting is focused on the science that's done in schools like SUNY ESF, so I asked him for his reaction. Take a look.
I think it is horrifically unsettling. This all-out war on science, I fear is going to cause a brain drain that we'll be paying for generations. And I know if I was, a paleoclimatologist or some specialist in energy systems and was coming out of school now looking at the world as to where I should start a life and a career, there are a lot more attractive places as a result of these policies. And yes, the funding is drying up in startling ways, and I think we're still wrapping our heads around the full extent and what it'll mean. And people are having their programs shut down halfway through and grants pulled, and it's a time of insane stress in academia, as in journalism. The only remedy we know is to just keep talking about it, and use our voices, whatever the outlet is, whether it's CitrusTV, CNN, and everything below and above and everything in between.
Yeah, so it is incumbent on the journalists here tonight gathered in the Herg to learn from what the CNN climate team has to offer. This is a part of the Gittner-Gebel Symposium, endowed speaker series put on by Seth Gittner's father in honor of his mother who passed away. So there are plenty of students here gathered in the Herg to listen to what he has to say. I'm going to go listen to him right now. Send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, and I bet students that were walking over to the Herg had to pull out their umbrella. This is the first time we've been having to pull out our raincoats and umbrellas on a Tuesday
I feel like we've
been
pretty lucky. We've been able to have a lot of good weather, but today it's rainy, it's nasty, and in studio, not outside, not Roman Verna, it's not Brody Miller, but it's our Alexa Korrie here. Alexa, let's hear a little bit about what's going on right now.
Yeah, thank you, Jackson and Isabella. I did get rained on walking over to the station today. It is currently 70 degrees out, so you would think it's nice and warm, but that rain does make it feel way cooler than it actually is. So it is about 10 to 15 mile an hour winds that we are experiencing that are also going to extend later into tonight. So tonight, temperatures are dropping to about 65 degrees tonight around 9 p.m., but they are expected to go down even more so around the later night hours to around middle 50s around there. But that rain is expected to end kind of around there, about 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. But that's all I have. Jackson, Isabella, back to you guys.
Well, jury selection is over for the murder trial of Robert Brooks. 3 former Marcy Correctional Facility officers could serve a minimum of 25 years in prison if found guilty of murdering Brooks. Body cam footage revealed officers assaulting Brooks late last year. He died the next day. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence after stabbing his girlfriend and was scheduled for release in 2026. Opening arguments began earlier today at noon.
Some voters in Monroe County found a surprise when they opened their absentee ballots. They were already filled out. More than 30 residents in the town of Rush may be unable to vote as a result. The issue was confirmed to be a, quote, printing error by Jackie Ortiz, the Democratic Commissioner of Monroe County's Board of Elections. Ortiz says new ballots will be sent to Rush residents shortly. Absentee ballots can be submitted in person by Election Day, November 4th, or received via mail by November 12th.
One person is in the hospital after a house fire on Syracuse's north side last night. According to Onondaga County 911 Center dispatches, firefighters were called to a Highland Street house for a basement fire. Syracuse Fire Captain Eric Castor says the house was vacant and sustained minor damage. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And 17 people across several CNY counties are in custody after the largest seizure ever of fentanyl powder for the Attorney General's Organized Crime Task Force. The seize includes more than 20 pounds of fentanyl, enough to kill a New Yorker every 6 seconds for a year, a dozen pounds of meth, and nearly 4 pounds of cocaine, a combined haul worth nearly $1 million. Additionally, almost $900,000 in cash were also seized. Of the 17 defendants, Syracuse native and alleged ringleader Jaquan Jones could face a life sentence in prison for operating as a major trafficker.
A woman was sentenced to prison for conspiring to buy 52 guns in Georgia to sell in Syracuse in 2021. 38-year-old Veronica Williams was convicted of 4th-degree conspiracy, 1 count of criminal possession of a firearm, and 1 count of 3rd-degree criminal sale of a firearm after trial. Williams was sentenced to a minimum of 11 years and a maximum of 15 after only being found guilty of 3 of the 64 charges against her.
Well, coming up, President Trump meets with the Canadian Prime Minister, what they discussed and what that means for tariffs.
Plus, Trump was unclear on who may receive back pay after the government shutdown, how this affects government employees when we return.
To an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
You're watching Citrus TV News Live at 6 with Isabella Galan, Jackson Breslin, and Roman Verna. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. As future tariffs are discussed with Prime Minister Mark Carney, President Trump describes the relationship between the U.S. and Canada as a mutual love and natural conflict. Carney aims to building an economic and security relationship with the U.S.
Tariffs of 50% remain on steel and aluminum imports, while a 35% levy is on Canadian imports. Goods under the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement are not impacted. The two countries aim to revamp their trading relationship.
The Trump administration is not guaranteeing back pay for federal workers during the government shutdown. Trump's Office of Management and Budget said that pay must now be provided by Congress as part of legislation to reopen the government. President Trump had this to say when asked about which government employees will receive back pay.
Is it the White House's position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
Well, Isabella, this goes against a law Trump signed in 2019, which ensures federal workers receive back pay during any federal funding lapse. When asked again on the issue, Trump said he would, quote, follow the law. The government is in its 7th day of a shutdown, with neither Democrats nor Republicans showing much willingness to budge from their demands.
The latest on Trump's use of federal troops. Earlier today, the president floated the idea of invoking the Insurrection Act to send troops to cities like Chicago and Portland. Trump said, quote, Chicago is a great city where there's a lot of crime, and if the governor can't do the job, we'll do the job, end quote.
The Insurrection Act sidesteps any court rulings restricting his orders to send National Guard troops into cities. It also gives troops the power to directly police and arrest people. The last time the law was invoked was by President George H.W. Bush during the Los Angeles riots of 1992.
And as Trump continues his talk about Chicago, the city and the state of Illinois are suing the Trump administration over its move to deploy National Guard troops.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says approximately 300 of the state's Guard troops, as well as 400 of the Texas National Guard, were set to be deployed to Chicago, despite his objection. Pritzker said, quote, Donald Trump is using our service members as political props and as pawns in his illegal effort to militarize our nation's cities, end quote. Pritzker said a court hearing has been scheduled for Thursday.
A majority of the Supreme Court indicated that it is prepared to rule against Colorado's ban on conversion therapy for minors. In the case, justices were asked to decide if states could ban the practice, which intends to, quote, convert gay people to heterosexuality.
Advocacy groups say roughly half of U.S. states have banned the therapy for minors. However, several justices reject the idea the state can regulate, quote, talk therapy the same way it can regulate medical conduct.
And I'll be back with your 5-day weather forecast and more after the break. Stick with us.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
And now taking a look at your 5-day weather forecast. So today and this week is not as nice or as hot as last week was, although as you can tell we are going up from here. We do not see any more rain in the forecast. Tomorrow will be some clouds, a high of 61. Looking at Thursday, we do have 55 degrees and a low of 33, although this weekend it is going up a little bit. You see Saturday about 68 degrees, low of 43. And I do know some people are going home for break, so looking at the cold and flu tracker, you could see if you're going to areas like Albany, Utica, or even southeast of New York, there is a bigger chance of you getting the cold or flu. Although, if you're anything like me, I want to know what I should be wearing to class when it's fall like this and it's ever changing the temperature. So when it's about 75 to 65 degrees, you want to go with some t-shirts, some jeans, some shorts, even maybe a crew neck. And then 64 to 55 degrees, we have that long sleeve, that zip up, that, hoodie weather here and there. And then dropping down into 54 to 45 degrees, it's getting a little bit colder. That's when you see the sweaters, the sweatshirts, the sweatpants, the coats. And then my least favorite weather, when it's 44 to 35 degrees. And that is when you want to wear your jacket, your boots, your gloves, your scarves, and even your earmuffs. But that's all I have today. Jackson and Isabella, back to you guys.
Thanks, Alexa. Definitely some great information there to look out for. Well, Micron Technology continued its recent stock market surge before the markets opened this morning. Micron closed yesterday with a fourth consecutive record close. After hours trading had Micron near $195.
Stock prices rose 41% in September and almost 140% this year. Worries of an inflated price are being quieted by a new analysis of the company by Morgan Stanley. Micron's plant in Clay is set to break ground in mid to late November. Now, Isabella, from chip makers to chip hopefuls, well, I'm not so sure when it comes to SU football, but Hudson, I know you've got all the sports news coming up.
Well, Jackson, right now it's all anybody can talk about. Syracuse's quarterback situation is in dire straits. How bad did it get this weekend? Well, we'll have that and more on the other side.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
When it rains, it pours, and I'm not talking about the weather in Syracuse right now. It's time for sports. I'm Hudson Ridley. SU fell to SMU 32-18 on Saturday in Dallas. Throughout the game, it was very clear that starter quarterback Ricky Collins was off the mark.
Very inaccurate today. I have to do better with taking the coaching to the field, what we discussed on the sideline, and obviously through the week, be able to go and take it onto the field and execute it.
This has been a very constant thing for Collins through 2 weeks. He's only made 2 starts, one against Duke in a loss that was 38-3. This week was a little bit better. 279 passing yards, that was a career high, but only 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions. That was his 3rd, 4th, and 5th this season. Head coach Fran Brown knows that it's a long road ahead for Collins.
It's about reading and understanding the picture, being able to see the picture, and things that he can get better at, that he'll progress on. Just like I just stated to him, he's just young in his career, and when you're young and doing it like that, those are some of the things that, unfortunately, our entire program has to go through.
You also got to see ESPN's broadcast there as Ricky Collins was chewed out by assistant quarterback coach Josh Gaddis. And what he said after the game was that I have to be better at taking that coaching on to the field. There were a lot of fourth downs that he missed. SU went for it. The most they have on fourth down this year, and their conversion rate was the lowest it's been. Part of the issue was the speed of throwing of Ricky Collins and getting on that same page. Running back Yasin Willis might have the answer.
I feel like maybe sometimes he does go a little too fast. Maybe he sees something and then he just goes right to it. Sometimes I be with them in like they meetings and they coach say to them like you gotta have soft eyes. And I feel like sometimes he make his decisions a little too quick. But that's something easy that we could just adjust. That's easy fix.
So that's been a major issue for Collins, and when you compare him to Steve Angeli, the comparison is clear. Collins, through the last 2 weeks, has the most interceptions in the nation over that span, and Angeli, before he tore his Achilles, led the NCAA in passing yards before that injury. And in baseball tonight for the Yankees, it is absolutely do or die. Game 3 of the ALDS, hosting the Blue Jays. If the Yankees lose tonight, that is it. Right now, with a 2-0 Yankee lead, it's been rough. The Blue Jays have dominated, scoring the first 21 runs of that series. Definitely a rough one. Carlos Rodon on the mound tonight for New York, guys.
And when we come back, we will have one last look at your wake-up weather.
Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team.
And now for the weather when you wake up tomorrow. So whether it's going to class or work in the morning, it's going to be about 56 degrees. So we are getting rid of that rain, although it is going to be very humid. It's going to be about 88% humidity, which is very high. So when you're picking out your outfit for class tomorrow, I like to do it the night before. You're going to want to take that into account, how it will be feeling. But that's all I have for weather today, guys.
Yeah, we are excited about this, and I don't think you guys are ready for this takedown because K-Pop Demon Hunters is officially available on Fortnite. Players can purchase skins and accessories to play as the members of the fictional K-pop group Huntrix.
This movie has broken multiple records in both the film and music industry and currently stands as Netflix's most watched movie ever, with over 325 million views. The skin bundles on Fortnite will be available until October 16th at 7:59 p.m. Isabella, you were very, very excited about this.
I was so shocked to find out that none of you have watched the movie yet.
This is the most streamed. It's the most watched Netflix movie ever.
And yet, I have not watched it.
How is that possible?
It is so good, but I'm curious. I know you guys don't really know the characters that well, but like based off of pictures that I made them listen to the songs before the show.
We did.
Do you kind of have a vibe of maybe who you would want to play as?
Absolutely not.
No idea?
No idea.
I know maybe
I'm going to have to say Zoe. My
Okay.
roommates love the show, and like you were saying, her buns, I think it's kind of cute.
I feel like she gives your vibe.
You think?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she gives your vibes. I feel like you guys are definitely giving Mira like a little bit more buttoned up.
Sure.
She's cool though.
Okay, so Mira, what is Mira? What's the appearance here?
She's like long pink hair,
Ooh.
like she's like baddie vibes. Like
Okay.
I really like her.
Okay.
I feel like I'm baddie vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1000% you are.
My whole thing with Fortnite is that now that Sabrina Carpenter and John Cena are in the game,
It's everybody. It's everybody. But that's Citrus TV News live at 6 for this Tuesday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Jackson Breslin.
And I'm Isabella Galan. Have a great night, Syracuse.